Hey there, fellows. Okay, so right here we have the Lada trike, which we've brought inside to let the snow and ice melt off. A lot has made it in with things being exposed. But no worries. It'll melt off eventually. Now you might have noticed that something is wrong with the car. That's a broken axle. It's just that after filming that episode, everybody wanted to have a go in the car. Which ended poorly, as you can see. Whatever. People in the comments were suggesting we try putting big wheels on it or make the car faster. Well, yeah, that'd be nice. But if we were to actually fit some big tires or, say, skis up front, that'd mean we have to run some extra aggressive tread in the back for the car to be able to drive through at least moderately deep snow, since we do know that the bulk of the weight is up front. You know, with the engine being there and all. Also, the driver is sitting up front, and so that's where most of the load is. Yeah, that's definitely a drawback of this car that seriously limits traction. Anyway, you know what I think we should do? Install some kind of gyroscope and make it a two-wheeler. But before we do any of that, we could just try maintaining balance on two wheels. I mean, it is relatively easy to ride a bike or a motorcycle, right? And so why not try the same thing but with a car? So we put the car onto two wheels of this size, then we take it to a road, find some kind of forest road with an incline, and just go for a ride. Find the right balance where the car would be able to move without tipping over. Find out whether we can even pull that off. We'll start by making the car really narrow, turning it into a two-wheeler, and after that we go practice maintaining balance while riding in it. Okay, let's do this. Fellas, I'd like to recommend a channel that belongs to a good friend of ours. Ilya has been making YouTube videos for over a decade, and he makes a wide variety of content. He does videos about cars, military equipment, boats, also he modifies a bunch of different cars. He even built his very own Lamborghini and Ferrari replicas. Now he's doing an all-new series of videos about planes. Head on over to his channel to check all of that out. We put a link in the video description down below. Make sure to subscribe. How do you maintain balance in a two-wheeled car? Translation and voiceover by BMI Russian. Here's where we're at with this, fellows. Look at this nice little two-wheeled Lada. It's got a steering wheel and everything. Now, the steering in this thing works in a curious way. All of this we slapped together in quite a hurry, actually. We've got encased bearings in there. All in all, it was a pretty fun build process, but I digress. You see, we did make a small miscalculation, and it might cause us some trouble later on. But then again, we'll see what actually happens once we get out and do some testing. Okay, so the back wheel is hard-mounted. It is not going to be moving around. While up front, we have a bearing-based steering mechanism. But here's the problem. The width of the front wheel makes it really difficult to turn. Hopefully when we get the car rolling, it's gonna... So as you can see, the tire and the steering wheel are on the same axis, meaning that the Ackerman is what's gonna be steering it. I mean, you've all seen those big choppers, right? Where they've got them long-ass forks? Well, they steer about the same. As in, the wheel tilts, the mass of the motorcycle itself and the driver shifts, and the thing turns. Hopefully this behaves the same way. Look at them laughing. We were all in it together when building the car, but now we're all like, who's going first? I think we all know the answer. Hopefully I find some big fir tree along the way. For now, the car is pretty empty. Doesn't even have any brakes, for crying out loud. But I mean, screw it. What bad can come out of that, right? Okay, let's drive out into a field, into the forest, to find out how this thing behaves. Okay, let's head out and do some testing. We've driven pretty far into the countryside. This is a really good place for these sorts of shenanigans. Now, we were looking out for hills along the way, and though we did find a few, they are way too sketchy to ride in this car with no brakes or anything else. As it is, the car is still untested. What should we call it, by the way? Gondola 2.0? Nah, dude. Let us know in the comments what you guys think we should call it. Say what? Chariot from hell? Don't start with that. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We've tied this straight to the trailer, and now we just... Right here, we've got this neat thing to tie the rope to, which might be of help to us, but it also might just get in the way. We won't know for sure until we start testing. Right. Let's do this. Oh great, I've got something to lean on. And immediately the fear kicks in. How was the steering? Oh, holy cow. You can't even turn it. Just send it, don't worry about it falling. There we go. Careful now. How do I maintain balance in this thing? We made it. Awesome. But how do I get out of here? We really didn't think this through. Yeah, let's open the door. So our first attempt, what do I need to grab? It didn't go all that well. Wow, it fell hard onto the side. You know, when it starts to fall... No, it's not that scary, actually. My point is that when it starts to fall, I can't prevent it from doing so for whatever reason. No worries. Let's just keep trying. The fun continues. Where do you think you're going? That's unfortunate. What a bummer. This just doesn't want to roll. But I am starting to get the hang of climbing out of it. That's good. But why does it keep falling onto its side? Your thoughts? Yeah, I think I'm alright. Sergey? Get in, you're next. Yeah, it opens. What are you talking about? Stop! Vlad, stop. He's already climbed out even. Let's go. How's it going? You good? Well, that's why you wear a helmet. What a spectacular fail. Why were you going so fast? Well, guys, so far we haven't been able to tame this thing. This horse is fighting back hard. I mean, it keeps falling over. I guess it is what it is. We thought about it, and perhaps it'll become easier to control at a higher speed. Let's see if that's true. We've already lost count of all of the failed attempts. Oh wow, look at that. It almost bounced back. This just doesn't seem to work. Well, guys, this has been a fun experience. It's even able to stay upright when it's stationary. Well, admittedly, right now the boys are supporting it. What with the road being so uneven. At the end of the day, for a short distance, it is possible to keep your balance, even if you do struggle quite a bit. It sort of reacts to your inputs even. It kind of handles up until a certain point. But then you hit even a tiny imperfection, and the thing falls onto its side. Once it begins to tip over, there's really nothing you can do at that point. So there you go. We tried this out, and none of us were able to maintain balance while driving this thing. It just keeps tipping over, which is not ideal. Now, this very well could be down to us running such wide tires, or it could be the result of the car sitting so high off the ground, because you're sitting high up in the car, which raises the center of gravity. But then, I mean, you can ride a bike and not fall over. And here you're even sitting somewhat lower than in a bike. Not to mention, this is still a light vehicle. That said, lifting it back up is a bit of a pain, as is keeping it upright. Tell us what you think in the comments, fellas. I mean, perhaps there is a simple and elegant solution out there to get us the results we want. So there you go. We've been riding around in this thing with no real success. Should we try going full send, or... What's so funny? You guys scared? I'm willing to do it myself. They won't let me behind the wheel, worried that I might ingest a bunch of snow. And God forbid the snow is yellow. You know, I think this is very much a case of practice makes perfect. Without practice, you're probably not gonna get anywhere. Okay, fellas, that's all I have for you. You saw it all for yourselves. You'd think it'd roll, but it just doesn't. Perhaps the road is too rough, or the tires are too wide. I feel like there's something we might have missed. Hopefully you can tell us in the comments. Alright, you guys watch us, subscribe, send in your suggestions, comment, give us a big thumbs up. Now, until we can make this work, we're not recommending you try it. Okay, catch you later. So first we learn how to drive it, and then we'll show you how it can be done. So we'll try to figure out what we got wrong, but for now we're signing off. See you guys later. Let's roll it. I mean, roll it onto the trailer.